welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. We have got a fabulous programme lined up for you tonight, so let's take a look at who's in my green room. My first guests are two of the most popular men on British television who share a common power. They can make other celebrities take their clothes off. Let's hope they use that power wisely this evening. It's Ashley Banjo and Alexandra Armstrong. Right there. Two good-looking young men. Also in my green room tonight, one of the funniest and most in-demand stand-ups around, the fabulous Catherine Ryan, ladies and gentlemen. And bringing the glamour, as always. Next up is a screen icon. I'm so thrilled he's back on the show. I'm an enormous fan of this man. He found fame in Monty Python, then he left the circus to travel the world for our entertainment. The one and only Mr. Michael Palin. Great to have you back. Milking the crowd, shameless. And alongside them is a true homegrown superstar, consistently brilliant in everything he appears in, the fabulously talented Mr. Michael Sheen, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favourite actors. And as always, we have got great music for you. He's a genuine hit maker, and he's just won an Oscar as well. He's performing with one of the hottest new voices to come out of Sweden. It's Mark Ronson with Licky Lee. Look like proper pop stars as well. So that's all to come. The best news I heard this week is that, and this is official now, dog owners are fitter than other people. That's good news for all us dog owners, isn't it? They did a study. They found out that dog owners walk 9.6 times a week for a total of 347 minutes of exercise. That's over double that of a non-dog walker, OK? And it's true, even if you're just going for a little walk, normally you would go further when you have your dog with you because, of course, you want to go to another street before you let it poop. So you always go a little bit further. It's great to give your dogs exercise, but how do you know when it's the right time to walk the dog? If only they had some way of telling you. That's a good boy, isn't it? OK, let's get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting ready for full frontal exposure in the all-new Monty. It's Ashley Banjo and Alexander Armstrong. Thank you for coming on. Actually, before I ask you about the all-new Monty, let me just say, though, we should congratulate Ashley because you've become a father very recently, haven't you?
Yeah, she's 2 months now.
A little baby, 2 months old.
Thank you.
2 months old.
Yeah, I am in love. Wow. Honestly, it's the most amazing thing ever.
And what's her name?
Rose.
Oh, there she is. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess with a second name like Banjo, you have to choose the first name quite carefully.
Definitely no Bobbies.
Yeah, Bobby Banjo.
Doesn't work, does it?
No.
Bobby Banjo?
Bobby Banjo, I like that.
No, I'm not sure.
You have kids, don't you, Xander?
Oh, 4, yeah.
How old are they?
12 down to 4, in fact.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 boys.
Well, are they worried, or are you concerned about them seeing you in the all-new Monty? Because both of you, once again, stripped down completely naked.
Oh, I've never seen that picture before. Hello.
You know what that is like? It's like the one on the right is the real person, and the one on the left is the Tinder portrait that you would get. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what you want, and that's what you get. No disrespect.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, we should point out this isn't like a weird strip show. Just you know, it's not like you guys just going, here it is, ladies.
No,
you know, it's for a very good reason. Tell me the premise behind the all-new Monty.
It's all about raising awareness for cancers in men. We all know that men, you know, they don't talk about these issues enough. They're embarrassed. They're being blokey about it. It'll be all right. You know, we're not going to go to the doctors. So we started this show a few years ago that basically gets together a group of well-known guys and we go on a journey that gets everybody ready to get naked in front of thousands of people to raise awareness.
So even you guys, even though you've done it before, it must have been quite nerve-wracking knowing you are going to bear all for an audience of like 2,000 people.
It's horrifying. Honestly, nothing prepares you for the moment, I don't think.
Well, actually, no, you prepared us for the moment. We were taught everything we do is sort of... You're busy counting all the time.
All the moves.
All the moves, so you kind of just get through it, and then you think, oh, well, here we go.
Yeah.
That gives me a place to hide, though. So I walk forward, and I'm too busy going, right, guys, 5, 6, 7, 8, get your positions right. And it's only until I walk forward with the hat and go,
Yeah.
Here we go.
I've got to throw this away right now. Yeah. And then I throw it, and it is the most exhilarating feeling.
Do you remember the first time we did it? We had all these blinders, these lights that were just meant to dazzle the audience. This time, No blinders at all. Everybody's...
Yeah. I imagine, though, is there a kind of a... Well, penis envy is the wrong term. Is there a kind of a competitive element? I imagine, for example, when the hats are handed out, I'm just guessing, but I imagine actually your hat is quite a large hat.
It's, yeah, it's quite a deep hat.
And I imagine yours is more of a fascinator.
You know what? Yeah. Never judge a book by its cover. I've got to know Xander very well over the past few years, and you'd be very impressed.
Oh, well, I can't wait to see the show.
There's a kind of penis horror, I think, that goes on backstage. Everybody's just thinking, this is the smallest it has ever been.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a sort of trick with elastic bands you can do.
OK, so we're... OK, let's have a look at the clip. So it's the all-new Monty, 2019. Who Bears Wins is on ITV on the 6th of May, 9 p.m. Let's have a look at the clip and then we'll talk some more.
All right, boys, you ready? Right.
I mean, it looks lovely. It also looks like the worst swingers party ever. So before we move on, and maybe not now, maybe let me show, but if I was to ask you to show me or any of our other guests some basic moves that are kind of good strip moves from the all-new Monty, could you could think about something? Could you give us some moves? We want to not go too crazy.
Oh, it would be an honour. I've got something stored away.
OK, so stay tuned. We're going to do a bit of stripping for you later on in the programme. Low-level stripping. And actually, you're going to be touring again with Diversity.
Yeah.
Now, what an amazing success story, Diversity, for the winners of a reality show to still be going strong, to be selling out huge venues, 10 years. Is it 10 years since you won?
Yeah, this is our kind of 10-year anniversary tour, which is... I still kind of can't believe that, really. Very, very lucky.
Alexander, we have to talk about Pointless a bit. What a success Pointless is.
I know, unbelievable.
Amazing. How many shows, how many series have you done now?
God, I don't even know the answer.
I think we've done, I think it's something like 2021. I mean, it's been going for a long while. Here's what I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you know this, Alexander hosted a special kind of Pointless edition for the Sandringham branch of the Women's Institute. Yeah. And who's a member of that group?
Yes, I had to go, it's a very weird day. I went up to a village hall right in the middle of nowhere in the Norfolk countryside. There are 34 women in this church hall and me, and one of them's the Queen. She's just sitting right there. Just right there.
That still sounds like a made-up story.
And did she know she was there for Pointless, or did she think it was the full Monty and she was stripping?
We played a little version of Pointless where we do a higher, lower, and I sort of give a score out. So I'll say, you know, on the ABBA Gold album, how many of our 100 people named Dancing Queen as one of the tracks? And somebody says, ooh, 48. And so the other...
Well, I think we know which person said that.
And you say higher, lower, higher... Anyway, so we did a sort of best of five. Yeah. She stormed it.
So she won?
Absolute, hands down.
Yeah, you let her win.
I didn't. She was good.
And was she competitive, though? Did you get the feeling that she wanted to win?
Absolutely. Yeah. She had her eye on the prize.
Yeah. So, are you doing another album? You've had 3 albums out that I know of.
Yeah, we've done quite a lot of classical stuff before. Yeah. This is going to be... It's just a slightly new direction.
That's exciting. So you're writing lyrics or you're collaborating?
I'm writing lyrics and we're sort of collaborating a bit on the music.
And Ashley, would it be right to say that you have Alexandra's albums on in your car most of the time?
All the time. He's my voicemail, my text message alert. I love Xander's voice.
Which one's your favourite album?
What, Xander's album? Yeah. Do you know, I like them all equally.
Oh, yeah. And of those ones, which one is your favourite track, do you think?
Do you know what? We're too good of friends. I couldn't bear to pick
you couldn't, because they're all like his children.
Yes,
Little Mix did precisely this to me when we were doing Kilimanjaro. They said, so which is your favourite track, Xander? And I went, they're all good.
Will you join me in saying thank you to Alexander Armstrong and Ashley Banjo, ladies and gentlemen? Don't go away, because still to come, right after the break, Catherine Ryan and Michael Palin are coming up. See you soon. Welcome back to the show. Alexander and Ashley are still here, but before we get my next guest out, let's see her doing what she does best live on stage.
You will see women who are with younger men, but I promise that happened by accident. And it will not be a big age difference. It is a mistake to think we seek it out like it's a badge of honor. We're not out in the clubs like, who can I find to do everything for and teach everything to? I am not busy enough.
Will you please welcome the fabulously funny Catherine Ryan? What an outfit. Hello and say hello to the guys.
Hello. Hey.
That's a great,
Wonderful
I love
work.
that kind of like pyjama suit. Is that a pyjama suit?
Thank you.
It's an amazing look.
Yes, it is.
We just showed a clip. That was your previous Netflix special.
Yeah.
And you've got the new show, Glitter Room. What can we expect? What's the material about? Is there a theme, a tone to it?
Well, I find that when you are a single woman who chooses to be single, everyone in your life gets upset about it. And I really love that I have a clean, feminine house. I have a beautiful daughter. I feel that men should be enjoyed on holiday. You know, I really love men. I do, but I think that they should be out getting prostate exams, not messing up my kitchen. You should just bring them inside in the rain like deck chair cushions.
But I understand, however, you are now in a relationship.
Oh, Jonathan, what a disaster. Okay, so it's not my fault that I'm dead sexy, is it? I flew home to Canada to film a documentary, and my little sister, you know what she's like, she wanted me to go out drinking with her. I was like, aren't alcoholics supposed to drink alone? She's like, please, come out. So eventually, I had just landed. I went to the pub with her, and into this pub walks my first love from when I was 15 years old. I haven't seen him in 20 years.
Wow.
He walks into the pub. I'm in an old jumper. He looked like a full-blood Hemsworth brother. Just hot. Hot.
Nice.
And I looked at him and I thought, I'll bang him, won't I?
So how long since you last saw him?
I hadn't seen him in 20 years.
20 years. So you instantly recognised him?
Of course I did. I'm the one difficult. I have a whole new face, Jonathan. Yeah, I recognized him. He looks the same. I really did like him at the time. And then I took him back to my mom's place, you know, because I don't live in Canada. Yeah. And I know what you're thinking. Just got off a flight, Catherine? Cabin puss. Not concerned for me.
Wow. Good. Hold on. Good. Let's drill into that a bit. What's,
It wasn't a concern for me.
should I even ask what that is? I mean, first of all, let me ask this question. Do I want to know what that is? Alexander, you seem to know what that is immediately.
There was something about the way she said it.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been on a long haul before. But that's how you know it's true love.
Yeah.
So when we were young...
Catherine, did you feel like you were in love with him when you were young? Was that like a relationship where you thought, OK, this could be the real thing? Or did it feel like a fling back then?
Oh, no, I was deeply in love with him. We were prom king and queen.
Oh, wow.
Yas queen. He invested his virginity wisely because now I'm a famous celebrity.
Hold it, so you were the first woman he sat with?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
I hope so. It was illegal before we met.
And was he the first guy that you slept with?
Sure.
Oh, that's so sweet. And so you met again, and so this is going places. You've actually got back together as a couple?
Well, I flipped out. I woke up in the morning at my mom's, and I thought, oh, what have I done? You need to leave. I chucked him out. And then he came to London, like a real romantic gesture.
Oh, he followed you here?
It's awful, isn't it? What a disaster. So, I mean, it's under review at the moment, is the best I can say.
Why disaster, though? Because you do so much material about the joys of being a single mum, is that it?
Well, yeah, I had really designed my life. My daughter and I have a shape of a family that's controversial, and I don't want to abandon those women.
Yeah.
I really do think that I like being by myself. For so long, women were not allowed to buy a house, open a bank account, or carry a passport without the signature of a man. You know, and here I've fallen in love with one.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I banged him at my mom's house.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, I like him, but now we have to worry about hiding from my daughter.
Well,
so...
yeah, I was going to ask, because your daughter Violet, we've spoken about the show, she's like a smart young woman. She seems funny to me. She seems on it. What does she make of this change in this rather wonderful mother-daughter unit that was self-sufficient, and suddenly this hairy guy, I'm assuming hairy, this guy...
he's hairless like a dolphin.
Wow.
He's so sweet as well.
Yeah.
But my daughter Violet really likes our arrangement. So when he came and stayed with us for a while, he was in the spare room, she was in the master bedroom, doing the whole, what do you call this time? She didn't want us dating. So we'll see. He's under review. But she's so cute. And he is called Bobby, so she has to say his name. We can't say his name in this country. Every time we go, we say, oh, he's called Bobby, Bobby. British people think it's Barbie, like the doll.
Yeah.
So she steps in and she's like, oh, they're Canadian. They're trying to say Bobby. He's my mummy's boyfriend from when she was very small. And right now, he's only visiting. He's under review. Yeah.
Is that really her accent? Is that really how she sounds?
Well, yeah, that's where I learned it. That's how she talks.
Wow. Yeah.
I thought she was just mocking them when she started it. But she was born here. She stitches you up. You know, we'll go visiting and she'll say, my mummy hides wine in the walls. It's a wine rack. I'm not hiding it there. She calls white wine day wine and red wine night wine.
She's got that right.
Yeah.
She's not wrong. Yeah. So.
We have a picture. We have the picture which Catherine put on her Instagram account. This is you.
Yeah.
There you are back in the day on the left.
That was just when I was young and he was young, and then we were grown up. That's 20 years between those photos.
Wow, that's amazing.
I did ask him if I could talk about him before I came out, or else, you know, when his wife finds out, she's going to be mad.
Well, hopefully this will solve that minor speed bump in the way there. Actually, where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife for the first time when I was 15.
And where did you meet?
I was dancing. I was a teacher, and she was in the class, and I was teaching her. So the first time we met was just.
You were 15 and you were teaching a dance class at 15?
Yeah, I've been teaching for years.
Does she let you live in the house?
She does, just about, but she's very much in control.
And you're full-time in the house?
Full-time. Full-time, yeah. Apart from, she ships me off, though, sometimes. I work out a lot.
You get your dick out with your friends?
Yeah. She comes to watch that, too, though. She enjoys it. Yeah.
And Alexandra, you've been married for how many years now?
It's a good question. 15 years.
15 years, you've got to get that right, you know that, don't you?
Well, it always changes, doesn't it?
Well, it's quite easy, you just add one on every year.
But I forget when to add it.
And where did you meet your wife?
Oh, she was being match-made with one of my best friends, so I basically stood on the sidelines and thought, God, she's lovely. And then I met her 3 months later, and I'd never stopped thinking about her. Oh, I know, and then I pestered her like mad with texts.
What's that? Oh, OK.
Have you ever, and this isn't me being like one of those creepy online guys, but
Probably.
I'm asking you because, we got Ashley and Alexander here. Ashley's going to teach us a couple of strip moves. Have you ever, on TV or in London, have you ever done performing where your clothes had to come off?
Well, do you know what's funny? The older you get, I think that you get more comfortable with your body and more comfortable with nudity. I'm way more comfortable now than I would have been when I was 20 years old. I was in a sitcom on Channel 4 by the marvelous Victoria Pyle called Campus, and I had to get naked in that. I had little pants on, but my daughter was 9 months old. Wow. So I'd forgotten my breast pump that day, and I had one massive boob and one... But I didn't mind. I just got them out anyway, and that's on Netflix if you fancy. Someone has already screen grabbed it, but it's a challenging wank, I will warn you. It is.
Although, as we know, Ashley loves a challenge in his life.
I love a challenge.
Catherine, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, she's going to be all night. The fabulous Catherine Wyan. OK, so coming up next, Michael Palin on the couch and Michael Sheen. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest out. And I'm so excited he's on the programme. I just have nothing but admiration for this man. He's had an amazing television and film career, from Monty Python, of course, to movies like Brazil, A Fish Called Wanda, and, of course, we all love his incredible travelogues. It's the one and only Mr. Michael Palin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
to be here.
Yeah, lovely to be here. I know you. Hello. Hey, good, good. You're very rude, but I love it.
Yeah.
You're rude and so charming with it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Something I've always wanted to do all my life is be really rude. And I can't. I'm English. I'm all reserved.
You're on the right show if you want to cut loose tonight.
Dick and things like that.
A lovely story from Catherine there about her being reunited with her childhood sweetheart, Willie, and I believe it's a similar story to you and your wife, isn't it?
Yeah, and a very long-term relationship, really, because I met this girl on holiday when I was 15 years old. She was 16. And we had a little holiday romance. And then a year later, she was back in the same little Suffolk town. And the romance got a little bit more sort of, you know, intense. We held hands. Not both hands, just one. And then the third year, she wasn't there. And we didn't see each other during the year because we lived in separate parts of the country.
And this was back before internet, before mobile phone, before all that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and it was pigeon post and all that. But we did write lots of letters, and I was very much in love with that. And anyway, that all ended. And then about 4 years later, I got into Oxford University, and I met the first man I met there had a girlfriend who worked at a teachers' training college in London, and he said, you know, come up to Oxford. And she said, oh, can I bring my friend? She's called Helen, and I think she says she knows Michael from way back. So she came back, and the whole relation started again. And, now, when we've been married for 53 years.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
But of course, you've been married for, you say, 53 years, but because of your travelogues, you've only actually been together for 2.
that's how it works, Jonathan. That's how it works.
But the recent ones, the last ones I saw for you was, I think it was last year, but it might have come out the year before, the North Korea documentary.
Yeah.
Where you got the chance to go into North Korea, which of course is a remarkable opportunity. And it must have been quite scary, I would have thought, to some extent, when going there knowing that...
It was very scary. It's actually the only time that my wife wasn't keen for me to do a travel series. I mean, normally she's very, very keen. How long will you be away? Oh, South America twice? Excellent. Yeah, it's very good. But this was a short one. But I think she was nervous, as I was, because that part of the world, it changes so fast, and you just don't know what... They're all very open at the time. We went there were big handshakes between North Korea and the South Korean premier, but you knew that if you were there and something went wrong and the missile went off, you probably wouldn't get out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was nervous till I got there.
I would imagine as well that Python has travelled the world. It's sort of a success everywhere in the world. So I imagine when you're in the other travelogues, most places you would get recognised. But presumably in North Korea, they hadn't seen any of your other work, had they?
No, they were spared. I mean, they didn't know who I was and what I did at all.
Did you explain to them? Did you tell them about
Well,
Python?
we did it at one point. The director had actually bought a little Python clip with him to show my lovely guide, So Yang, what I did in real life, and he'd chosen the fish slapping dance. So we all sit down, and she has a look at the fish slapping dance on the computer and all that. And she was really mystified to start with, and I kept, this is what you do? I said, yes, this is what I do in real life. But the great thing was, she really laughed. I mean, she fell about laughing, and at the end, she said rather peculiarly, the fish, was it alive? I said, oh, the fish was alive, and of course it wasn't, it was dead.
Well, let me ask you, the reason why Michael's on the show is not to talk about his travelogues, even though we could talk about them all night, because I find them fascinating, but Michael is part of a new film, and it's not a comedy film as such, although it's got a lot of funny stuff in it, but it's called An Accidental Studio. Tell us about this film.
It's about Handmade Films, which is an interesting British film studio, which it wasn't really a studio, it was a British film production company, which was started by George Harrison in 1978 to rescue Monty Python's Life of Brian.
So you were ready to film, weren't you? And then you lost
We were
finances.
ready to film. EMI were going to finance it. We had carpenters out in Tunisia building the sets. And suddenly the head of EMI actually read the script and said, why didn't no one show me this? It's disgusting. It's blasphemous. I'm not financing this. We're a British company. And so we were stuck, you know, the half-built set. And Eric Idle was in Hollywood talking to George Harrison, who he knew, and George turned out to be a massive Python fan and said he would find enough money to finance the film. So he and his financial advisor, Dennis O'Brien, found $5 million. Wow. And people said, you know, George, you have $5 million, you know, finance a film? Why'd you do that? He said, because, you know, I wanted to see it. And that's great. What the price of a ticket.
That's the most expensive cinema ticket anyone's ever paid for. Yeah.
But and then they invented handmade films. I think it was George's name. And then 2 years later, when Life of Brian being quite successful, they picked up another film called The Long Good Friday with Helen Mirren and Bob Hoskins, which was the nearest, you know all about films, but I think it was the nearest British gangster film to Sopranos or something like that.
People hadn't been making that kind of film over here, really. And,
no.
And that was a huge success for them as well, wasn't it? I mean, they started making money. Let's have a look at a clip, 'cause it's very funny. There's loads of footage of the Pythons while they're making Life of Brian, and there's loads of interviews with all the key players and some fascinating characters in it. And it's available to watch on AMC from next Saturday. Have a look at this.
I mean, I spent 25 years in this pop group.
It was George Harrison's company. Well, it doesn't get much cooler than that.
Handmade purely came into existence because of Life of Brian.
Well, the new Monty Python film is entitled The Life of Brian and has managed to offend just about every religious group in the city.
And now for something completely different.
George was the one with the money and with the vision.
Cheerio!
It just sounded like a great idea.
No competition.
Without Handmade, very few of the film would ever have happened.
George basically said, whatever you guys want.
For me to make films is my way to help other people, and that's it, really.
A really fabulous one. What a lovely man, though. George Harrison was just such a nice man, wasn't he? And the faith he showed in youth, especially Life of Brian, which now we know it's a classic comedy film. It was a massive hit worldwide. But at the time, genuinely, people, a lot of pressure groups were furious about it, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we knew there'd be a bit of trouble because people just said Jesus and Python on the same bill. That must mean it's irreverent, it's disrespectful, it's anti-religion, it's anti-people of faith, and it wasn't like that at all, actually. No. The film, is really about people blindly following any Messiah anywhere. Yeah. And that was what was happening in sort of Judea at that time, was Messiah fever. And I mean, we had to actually, when we put the script together, we had a lot of rather funny little scenes that we thought would be great, but they were biblical jokes, and they weren't sort of part of the actual sort of story of the mistaken identity. There was one amazing scene, which would have been very funny, but it was Peter ringing up to book a table for the Last Supper. You know, and he rings up the restaurant. There'll be 12, please, for Friday. 12 people Friday? You must be joking. I'll do you 3 tables of 4. So a lot of negotiating, and in the end, they settled for Tuesday, when it's not too busy. We do you 12 on Tuesday, and Peter said, oh, by the way, yeah, we also want everybody to be able to sit on the same side of the table. I said, sorry, mate. Health and safety, you must be joking. So that was material that was not
Why did
used.
that scene not make it? Why did that...
Because it was a sort of joke about the Bible story, rather than seeing that period through the eyes of modern life. So, all the characters in it are characters who are around now.
So, in actual fact, you were being very respectful of the, you know, the story of Jesus and those aspects of the faith itself, but you were...
well, you read about Jesus and you can't really sort of take any...
He sounds like he was a pretty good guy.
Bloke. Yeah.
Although there was something in the film which I found quite upsetting and offensive.
What was that? What's that, Jonathan?
I think you probably know.
No, tell me. Willis Wadwick?
Yes, you mock people who cannot pronounce the letter R.
No. But actually, what we were doing were mocking powerful people, which you are. Well, despite not being able to pronounce the letter R, you are very powerful. You're a mover and probably a shaker. I don't know. I haven't seen you shaking at all, but I mean, you know. So it was about Pilate being laughed at. And,
what a wankerous suggestion. Let's have a look at the clip. It's an amazing film.
What is your name, Jew? Brian, sir. Brian, eh? No, Brian. Ow! The little rascal has spirit? As what, sir? Spirit? Yes, he did, sir. No. Spirits, bravado, a touch of daring do. Oh, about 11, sir. So, you dare to evade us? To what, sir? Strike him, Centurion, very roughly.
Amazing. One of the funniest films of all time. I should congratulate you. You've had 2 big honours recently, and I think one probably means more than the other because, of course, you've been knighted. You're soon to be Sir Michael Palin, or
yes,
you are
I
already, I guess. So,
yes.
how lovely!
I just got the right ticket in the raffle, you know. That was it. Yeah.
But more importantly, perhaps, you've been last year you were named the greatest ever Yorkshireman. That's quite something. I imagine Michael Parkinson's furious.
I know. I can't go back to Yorkshire now. I get sort of beaten up as soon as I cross the border by Geoffrey Boycott and Michael Parkinson, to name but 3.
Michael, so lovely to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for being here with us.
No, thank you. Great.
Michael Palin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Michael. Still to come on the show, Mark Ronson and Nicky Lee will be performing, but before that, let's get my next guest out. He's one of those actors who can do anything from Brian Clough to a far too convincing Tony Blair to the leader of an ancient vampire coven in Twilight, the fabulous Mr. Michael Sheen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for the wait. Michael, it's great to have you here. Thank you for coming out.
Can I don't know if this is ever done, but can I forfeit my time so we can have more of Michael Palin?
No, you can't do that. But you've had a remarkable career as well, and you've been remarkable on screen. I've loved you in so many movies, and, you know, we were talking to the guys earlier about the all-new Monty, the stripping show, and you've been naked many times on screen, I believe.
So I was just thinking about this backstage, the first time I was ever naked doing a sex scene was with Stephen Fry.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
It was in a film called Wilde, about Oscar Wilde.
Yes.
And I had to ride Stephen like a wild stallion.
Wow.
So that was the first time. The second time I was ever naked doing a sex scene, I had to be covered in chocolate spread all over my face. That was the thing about someone with OCD and Tourette's, and I had to bark when I orgasmed. Wow. And I think you were saying that you were getting more comfortable with that kind of stuff as you get older. I've got worse.
Really?
I don't want to show any of this off anymore.
No. But it's not so much whether you want to show it or not. I think it's the fact that you don't care as much as whether anyone's looking.
Oh, no, I care still.
Do you care still?
I think so.
I think you're the only one here who does. Because, really? Michael, you've been naked a few times on screen, haven't you?
Oh, yes, I insist on it. It's in my contract. Put your clothes on, Michael. No, I think I'd better have a little bit of nakedness.
Michael, we've invited Michael on. Obviously, we've invited him because we're fans of yours, but you're involved in what sounds to be an amazing event coming up in Wales. And I love how involved you still are with Wales, how important it obviously is to you.
Yes!
Because...
me and you, all the way!
Yeah. Well, we're only allowed 2 Welsh people in the studio.
So, the EU quota of Welsh people.
Tell me about this event, because this does sound extraordinary. It's the Homeless World Cup.
Yes.
Taking place in Cardiff on the between the 27th of July and the 3rd of August.
Yes.
Well, now, how did you get involved in this?
Well, so there's an organisation called Street Football Wales who got in touch with me probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. And they said, look, we are an organisation that puts on football tournaments, creates football leagues and football teams for people who are experiencing homelessness or some kind of social exclusion in some way. And, you know, would you like to come and get involved with us? And I thought, well, at first I thought, well, this is... why are you putting all your energy and focus and money into doing football for people when you could just deal with the issues directly, you know? So I went down and, you know, and spoke to them, and then I realised the brilliance of it. Football is the hook. And that's what brings people in. You can get services to them in an easier, more direct way. People get motivated. They meet people. They make connections. They're suddenly part of a team. They get motivated to stay fit, you know, and get their lives back on track and stuff. So there was one woman, Dee, who I'll never forget, who it was, you know, a lot... for most people, it's their first time travelling out of the country, for a start. And putting, like, the shirt on for your country. You know, when you've gone through all kinds of difficulties, you know, for many, many years.
You've been in, you know, lost somewhat to drugs, or if your life is treating you better, and then to actually feel like, hold on, I'm part of something now. It must be a really amazing transformation.
So to see Dee, who, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, had been struggling with a lot of different issues. She hadn't been able to see her children for a very long time. But being part of this team, this women's Welsh team, and getting to go and represent her country in Oslo at the World Cup, to put that Welsh jersey on. And, you know, God bless her, she wasn't the best footballer, but she was giving it everything. And to watch her play, and I saw her score a goal.
Wow.
And I'll never forget that. I will never forget that moment. You saw on her face her life changing. It just changed in that moment.
Because you could have been a professional footballer, and you had the skills and you were scouted, weren't you?
Well, I hit my peak at 12. So when I was 12 years old, I went on holiday to Pontins on the Isle of Wight.
Oh, man.
And, oh, look, there's me.
Yeah.
That's Bagland Boys Club up there.
Which one's you there? Which one?
So, back row, third from the left. Yeah, so I was on holiday in Pontins on the Isle of Wight, and it just so happened that Tony Adams, you know Tony Adams of Arsenal in England, who was only 15 at the time, I was 12, him and his dad were on holiday there. And his dad was sort of one of the scouts at Arsenal, and he saw me playing. I played against Tony Adams, skinned him, and then he organised a match for a local team against a team from Pontins, and unbeknownst to me, it was in order to watch me play in a sort of competition. And then he said to my dad afterwards, we'd like to bring him to be part of the Arsenal youth team. And my dad, I didn't know this, and it was only when I got home after the holiday, and I overheard my parents talking to friends of theirs in the living room, and I heard them tell this story, and I was outside the front room, but my mum and dad said, no, he's not going to go because he's only 12, he can't live in London on his own, and we can't move down there. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
And so I was both really excited and kind of devastated.
That must have been heartbreaking to hear that, because even though you are obviously a smart enough young man to see the reasoning, but still, to be that close to something that amazing.
Well, in that moment, it was a lot to process. I couldn't, you know, I was just excited to hear what they'd said. And obviously, as the years have gone on, you know, even if I would never have made it to the top level, but I'm
hoping that any day now, though, you'll feel you can talk to your parents again.
I hope so. Yeah. We'll work into it slowly in arbitration.
But having said that, you haven't done too badly, of course, and in a way, a football career would have been over by now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But of course, I did get to eventually bring the two things together when I did the Damned United and I played Brian Clough, and that was just such a dream for me to be able to do the football stuff and play Clough.
What are you doing next? In the world of acting, what's up for you next?
Well, at the moment there's a show called The Good Fight, which I've been doing in New York.
Now, what a great character you get to play on that.
Yeah, that was extraordinary. The Good Fight is this amazing show that kind of came out of another show called The Good Wife.
Yeah.
And I play this character, Roland Blum, who is... I mean, he's sort of the devil, really.
You seem to be having so much fun playing him.
Well, I'm glad it looks like fun. I was terrified.
But why? Because he has to be so big?
He's just a huge character. I'm coming into a show, this is their third season, I think. So, you know, everyone knows each other, and this character walks in and is supposed to just, like, blow everyone away and just, wow, here I am.
And he's a kind of very self-obsessed, very kind of...
He's Machiavellian, he's outrageous, he's drug-taking. I mean, he's, like, shoving things up his arse. It's just full on. It's full on. And he's outrageous. But to walk onto a set where everyone knows each other and you don't know anyone...
And you've got to be...
Oh, here I am, everybody! It's scary to do that, you know?
Well, it's an amazing performance, and let me just remind everyone, the Homeless World Cup is in Cardiff over the summer, 27th of July, 3rd of August. Get yourself over to Cardiff. I'm going to try and make it over this way. It sounds like it's
I'll be there. I'll be there to say hello
event.
to you.
He's going to say hello to every person who comes in person.
Absolutely, I will.
Great to have you here. Michael Sheen, ladies and gentlemen. Still to come on the show, we've got Mark Ronson chatting and then performing live with Licky Lee. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. I'm still here with all my fabulous guests. OK, well, we've got time for one more. He's going to be closing the show for us in a moment with a tremendous musical number. Before he performs, let's get him out for a quick chat. Will you please welcome the hitmaker, Mark Ronson? That is a great look. That is a great look. Come on out, Mark. That is a great look. I know that's performance gear, but that is a great outfit.
It's like ABBA's yard sale.
Well, we've got Mark on, and I owe him a thanks here because he wrote the theme music for this show for us. So thank you very much indeed. That was back in 2011 you did that for us.
Yeah, you were starting a new show, and they said, do you have anything? And, you know, I like you. You've always had me on. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll make something for you if you like it. And I actually totally forgot about it till coming here today.
And you hear it again and again?
Hearing it, because I haven't seen a check.
Do we... Well, I was going to ask you.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Do we have to pay you every time we play it?
That's what I'm here to see.
Wow. Uptown Funk was an enormous hit. It became quite annoying after a while, as I'm sure you know, because you could not go anywhere.
I'm very sorry.
Without hearing it. But does your music always sound fresh to you, or do you ever get tired of it?
No, it's very annoying, Uptown Funk. No, I think, you know what it is? It's like you work so hard when you're working on a song. That song took us 7 months to make. You know, Bruno's a perfectionist. We worked really hard. And then by the time, before it even comes out, you're pretty sick of it. But I guess with a song like Uptown Funk, it's like brought so much joy, and you hear like people tell me like, oh, my kid loves it, or we're at this wedding and they played it. And I haven't seen a check for that either, actually. But yeah, that's what's fun, seeing how other people get into the music.
You DJ'd at Tom Cruise's wedding, didn't you?
I did. It was in this Italian castle in Rome. I believe he's not married anymore. Yeah.
Apparently it was the DJ set that caused the first.
Yeah. I was playing. I was like, oh, I'll rehearse a couple cool mixes that Tom will dig and appreciate the thought, because I know he likes hip hop. Yeah. So I played the Top Gun theme over like the drums from some hip hop record, and apparently he was really into it. But I'm really focused on the like mixing. Like look over for like a second. He's like, and I was like back to the mix. Yeah. But then I played You've Lost That Loving Feeling, which I thought would be cute, and then thought that that's completely the wrong kind of song to play at a wedding. It's like, no. Yeah. But he committed.
OK. Can you get into your own music? By which I mean, I once asked Barry White, the great Barry White, no longer with us, sadly, but I'm a huge fan of his. I was, and I still am. And I asked him whether, like the rest of us, he ever had his music on in the background when making love.
Yes.
And he said he did.
Yes.
Would you ever listen to your music in the background? Not necessarily Uptown Funk, because that tempo, that's hard to keep up.
You're not going to last too long.
Not really.
You're like, Uptown Funk just gave it to me. Sorry.
But do you ever listen to your music, or music at all when you're in the amorous mode?
I'm not trying to be funny. I can't listen to music during sex because my mind starts to wander, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how they got that like snare sound. Like, before I know it, and I'm just like, boop, and not in the room. Yeah. I find like music, like anything, even if I'm in a restaurant or a thing, like it really does start to like my brain starts to wander.
Yeah. Sander, do you ever listen to your music while you're making love?
All the time.
You're here with Licky Lee. She's got an incredible voice, and she's a young Swedish woman. Yes. And you have a group of other people working with you, featuring with you on the new album, Late Night Feelings. Have you ever been turned down by anyone out there you really want to work with who hasn't responded in the affirmative?
Yeah, a lot of people. But I never really take it personally, because I know how bad I am at, like, texting people back, so I don't take it personally, but, yeah.
Who have you reached out to who we would know, who maybe they didn't like the material, or maybe the time wasn't right, who refused? Because I can't imagine many people would say no to you.
I mean, I don't really want to call anybody out, Kendrick Lamar. It just seems... I guess, yeah, like, but those are just people that I'm such a fan of, and, like, you know, Yeba, who was on the show last week with Mumford & Sons.
She has an amazing voice.
She's incredible, and I just saw a video of her on YouTube and just, like, called her up. So I love finding the next new people as well.
You reached out to Drake, I believe.
Drake? I did. You know what? He seemed like he'd be the kind of person into a handwritten letter. Might appreciate the thought. He's a little emo.
Yes.
So I did. I got this, like, it's so embarrassing. I don't know how you know this story. I found this black, nice paper and wrote in this gold pen.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
That's trying too hard.
It is. He probably thought I was going to ask him out. I just wanted him on the track.
Mark, it's lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on. Mark's going to go over and get ready to perform. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Mark Ronson! Thank you, Mark. Mark Ronson. Just before we do that, Ashley, earlier on, you said that you might be able to show us a couple of stripping moves. Now, I don't know, I'm not going to pressure anyone. I know, Alexander, obviously, we know you have form. And we're not going to strip completely naked, but does anyone else want to join in? Catherine, you want to get involved in this?
Always, yeah.
OK. I've got a jacket for you so that you can have something more to start with. I thought we'd go glittery for you.
OK, yeah, we have to use the blazer as a prop.
Michael, you want to strip, or have you stripped enough of your life?
Yeah, no, fine.
Okay. Oh, come on, let's do this.
Michael, you ready? Well, we know Mr. Sheeny, you're probably the most nervous potential stripper we have here.
Yeah. Right, so this is going to be made up of 3 simple moves, all right? That's what we're going to do. All right, let's go. Blazer's gone up, blazer's gone up.
Let's get ready.
We're going to walk, thrust, push, undress.
Oh, OK.
You got some music?
You're going to... Oh.
Oh. All right, ready?
Come on.
5, 6, 7, let's go. Walk, undo. 2. Oh, keep it slow, keep it slow. Open here. Let's go.
Push. Oh. Undo. Let's go. Here.
Oh, God.
Here.
Oh, yes. Oh. No, no.
Beautiful jacket.
Well done, Ashley, amazing. Thank you to all my guests tonight. Michael Sheen, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Palin, the fabulous Catherine Ryan, Ashley Banjo and Alexandra Armstrong. But now with the title track from his new album, Late Night Feelings, it's Mark Ronson featuring Letty Lee.
I ask myself a million questions in the dark. I lay in silence, but silence talks. It tells me heaven is no closer than it was. My heart keeps pulling in the wrong direction. I'm about to cross that line, looking for the wrong affection night after night. Trying to find a new distraction, wanna make it last all night. Everything that I've been mixing all mixed up inside. When I get to all, yeah, and I wanna call, yeah, with late night feelings. When I get to all, yeah, and I wanna call, yeah, with late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on, on and on, on and on, with late night feelings. Make me psychotic, you pull away. You take the same in me and tear it like a page. I write you erotic, and I know you wait before you answer just to make me go insane. My heart keeps pulling in the wrong direction. I'm about to cross that line, looking for the wrong affection night after night. I'm trying to find a new distraction, wanna make it last all night. Everything that I've been mixing all mixed up inside. When I get to all, yeah, and I wanna call, yeah, with late night feelings. When I get to all, yeah, and I wanna call, yeah, with late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on, on and on, on and on, with late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on, on and on, on and on, with late night feelings. Heart keeps pulling in the wrong direction. I'm about to cross that line, looking for the wrong affection night after night. Trying to find a new distraction, wanna make it last all night. Everything that I've been mixed, all mixed up inside. When I get to all, yeah, and I wanna call, yeah, with late night feelings. When I get to all, yeah, and I wanna call, yeah, with late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on, on and on, on and on, with late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on, on and on, on and on, with late night
Letty Lee, Mr. Mark Ronson, amazing.